Hello, and thank you for joining the ARC of Fort Bend County Parent Education and Support Group meeting on Zoom today. The Parent Education and Support Group meets on the second Thursday of each month throughout the school year, and the presentation is at 11 a.m. And then at noon, those who'd like to stick around for the support group, we meet to bounce questions and ideas off of one another and just lend that support and encouragement to each other. I'm Carrie Axtell, the Advocacy and Youth Programs Director here at the ARC of Fort Bend County. We're a nonprofit organization established in 1968 for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We ensure opportunities for people with IDD and their families to maximize their quality of life within our community. And we do that through disability rights advocacy for and with people with IDD, and we provide information about community services and resources, organize resource fairs, support groups for parents and adult siblings. We hold several high-quality social and recreational programs for people in their teens, 20s, and into mature adulthood. We're also home to the largest Special Olympics delegation for adults in the region. And we offer 10 different sports and have over 100 athletes. To learn a little bit more about the ARC of Fort Bend County, you can visit our website at arcoffortbend.org, like our Facebook page, which is pretty active and up to date. And you can also reach out to me if you'd like. I've put my contact information there in the chat box. When you logged on, you may have noticed that your microphone's on mute just to help cut down on some of the background noise and help us hear our presenter better. But if you have questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat and I will read your questions to the presenter at the end. And we do appreciate your questions because we learn a lot from them. But if this is your first time joining us, welcome. You're in for a real treat because we have some exceptional professionals here in the community who share their knowledge and expertise with us. This month, we're pleased to welcome two members of the Texas A&M University program, Coach to Communicate, Project Coordinator Sanikan Wadawangwan, and the parent coach Amara Yoro. And they're going to be here to talk about the Coach to Communicate project, the benefits of the program, how to register, and some basic strategies and to help improve a child's communication skills for you parents out there or caregivers who have a loved one with autism. So welcome Sanikan and Amara. I'll turn this presentation over to you.
Hi, good morning. Well, thank you so much, Ms. Carrie. Thank you for inviting us to the project. So I'm gonna briefly introduce myself and Amara. So hi, my name is Sanikan Wattanawongwan. I'm originally from Thailand. I'm a parent coaching and project coordinator in Coach to Communicate. So we serve the parent with families with children with autism throughout the Texas. We will go through you what is C2C and how you can register, and all is all free. We have a project director, which is Dr. Jay Gans. She's not here today, but we thank you, the Texas, that give the grant for us to run the project. I will let Amara introduce herself, and then we will go. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to put the survey in the chat box for the parents. Please fill out the survey after the presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Sunny. Hi, everyone. My name is Amara Yoro, and I am a parent coach here at the Coach to Communicate project. I basically work with parents and, teach them strategies on how they can better, improve communication with their children at home. And so I would be talking about the first part of the project, and then Sunny will take over later. So Sunny, do you want me to go ahead? Okay, so you can move to the next slide. That's fine. So the Coach to Communicate is a webinar and a face-to-face online individual parent coaching sessions. And it's, as like Sunny said, it is totally free for caregivers, teachers, and service providers of children with autism. Participants are always instructed on how they can improve the communication. So our focus is basically on communication between caregiver and child. And because I know often some parents come in and they have they want to work on homework and other kind of activities. So we just always like to let them know that our major focus is on increasing communication. And then the project serves Texas families, like Sunny said, and caregivers who have children up to the age of 22, and they need instruction in communication skills. Okay, the next slide. Okay, so yeah, so far so good. We have provided services to over 85 counties, and I think over 567 families all over Texas. So if you're in Texas and you want, you need support, you need us to, help you. And one of the things I love so much about the program is how it keeps parents accountable every week to work with their children and have them, practice communication goals with their children. And it has been so successful, personally, from my experience for over 3 years now. I'm getting to the 4th year. Okay, and next slide. Okay, so the first thing that happens the moment you get into the program is that you have a 1-hour webinar, which is online and is self-paced. You do not need to finish it at this, on a spot. You can, complete it over at convenience, and it can be accessed at any time. It just gives you overview of parenting techniques. Like, it's just like, call it an online class where you gotta like learn parenting techniques, how to increase communication skills, and you will get to teach you a couple of strategies there online. And then after you are done with a 1-hour webinar online self-paced course, you move over to the intensive parenting coaching. And that is where you get to work with parent coaches like myself and other of my colleagues, where we have one-on-one coaching sessions. And the coaching sessions are usually an hour. And it is scheduled according to the parent availability. Personally, I understand that schedules are tight. We're in the COVID season, and things are a little bit difficult right now. So we are very flexible, and it's available in English and Spanish to parents, but you need to complete the online webinar before you can be moved over to the coaching session. So there we provide lots and lots of services on the parent coaching session. So Sunny, can we move so I can talk a little bit more about what happens? To the next slide. Okay. Okay, so after the 1-hour webinar online self-paced session, the next thing that happens is the assessment. I think that is where you kind of like, your child is being assessed, and yourself, you go through the assessment. And then after that, you have a meeting, like an interview, an introduction meeting with a parent coach. There you get to, know the parent coach you'll be working with, and, and then we interview to hear about your past experience with the child, what you've been doing, challenges you've been having, and we get to ask questions about the child's communication ability. And then after all of those questions, we come up with a treatment goal. So we ask you as a parent to come up with a goal and tell us what do you want to work on. And we have a couple of, Sunny is going to talk about that, but we have a couple of communication goals that we work on, like exchanging information, helping children request social etiquette, helping children to work on WH questions. So we kind of like allow you, and I love it because you the parent have the chance to choose to say, oh, okay, my child is having challenges with requesting, or my child is having challenges with answering why questions or who questions, and this is what I want to work on. And then we have you choose the activities. And one other thing I love about the program is that it is naturalistic. We use natural environment. You don't need anything. You just need your home and and yourself. So we work on activities across the daily routine of the child. So for example, we teach you on how the child can communicate, for example, request food or have normal conversations at home that relate to things that are at home. So you do not need to buy anything or have anything. You just need yourself and your normal natural environment. And then after we are done with the goals, the next thing that happens is that myself as a parent coach, we develop the treatment plan based on the goals that you have set. And, we come again for another meeting to tell you, okay, have a look at this treatment plan. This is what we're going to be working on. These are, the things we're going to be looking at. These are the target behaviors we want to be looking at in your child. And upon your, the moment you accept and you said, okay, and you confirm that this is okay, we would now move into the coaching phase. So our training, our coaching sessions are kind of like parent directed, because we want you to make decisions. We want you to, contribute to whatever that, it's got to the communication of your child. And so we have the coaching sessions. Now the coaching sessions will happen from week 2 to week 6, depending. So sometimes we, from experience, I've noticed that the moment, sometimes when we get to week 6, you have parents who kind of like say, oh, I want to add on more sessions. So if, for example, you get to week 6 and you feel like you have not, you're not satisfied, or you want to still work some more, or you feel like, wow, this is really helping me, I'm beginning to see more growth with the child and I want to still remain, we have options to have you add like 2 more sessions before you move into your maintenance phase. So I know somebody may be saying, okay, what if the 6 weeks is not enough? We are happy to, have you add like 2 more sessions to, still work with the child and still receive services. So I will talk a little bit more about all of this in detail. And then after the parent is done with the coaching sessions, we move over to maintenance, and which we often call follow-up. So during the follow-up sessions, we allow the parents practice everything that we have, we've taught and we've learned, and then we just check in to see how the parent is doing. Personally, I often just, allow parents set their own goals, do things by their own self, and, tell me how they are feeling about it. Tell me how, how they are improving, how they are feeling about, the whole, session that we have learned. And, just in case the training comes to an end, I want to be sure that, this parent has received enough training to be able to, continue without any coaching every week. Okay, so can we move to the next slide? Okay, so this is what happens in the coaching session. So number 1, you send now, because it's a virtual training, it's not like a face-to-face where I need to come to your house. So it's a virtual training, and so we work with the videos that parents send, and it's pretty easy, just because just the only thing there is that the parents need to actually be accountable to, like, practice the skills and upload the video. So the first thing that happens is that you send in your videos, I'll watch them, or other parent coaches watch the videos, and we develop a feedback form. Now we have a list of strategies that we expect that parents should apply when working on communication with your children. And Sunny is going to talk about those strategies. And these are things that we use, but maybe we're not using them the right way, or maybe we're not applying them in the right environment, or, just a few things missing. And that is why we are here to kind of like put you through. So we watch these videos and provide feedback based on what you've been doing with the child. We provide instructions and role play. So when we meet, in the meeting, we answer your questions. We watch the videos together with the parent to say, hey, this is where you made a mistake. This is where I think you should do better. This is where I think you should provide more prompting. I think here you should praise him more. And then we allow you go back and practice the skills with your child. And then you record a video again and send it to us. And we meet every week. So for most parents, we meet every week. But some parents who have very tight working schedules, we are flexible enough to have them meet every 2 weeks. So that just gives them enough time to practice more with their children. And because I know sometimes the week goes by so fast and they're like, I've not done anything, right? And instead of just putting you under that pressure to say, hey, okay, just record it. So we can allow you to do every 2 weeks so that you have enough time. So just in case you didn't have time this week because of work, you can have the time to, practice the other week. And, I also want to like stress it again that we are very flexible, very understanding, and we provide, support to parents. It's not something that, I always tell my parents, this is not an exam. This is not like you're not, in competition with anyone. Take it at your pace, enjoy the training. I want you to learn. And so it's not like, oh, I need to pass or something. So just enjoy the process, make sure you're getting trained, make sure you're getting empowered, and make sure you're beginning to feel more, in control of, your child's communication and all that. And that's the goal for me, and not, meeting deadlines. And that's why the moment there's a deadline and the parent cannot meet it, I'm always happy to say, okay, you know what, let's change it. Let's continue to change it and until you are comfortable enough, okay? And then, yeah, we meet every week or every other week via Zoom to go over the parents, the goals. And personally, and I think other coaches do that as well, we set weekly goals with parents. Okay, so this week what is a weekly goal? And it's not something so serious. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I focus on, I'm working on requesting with my child. I'm going to focus on exchanging a lot and, asking questions about this particular kind of thing with my child. I'm going to make sure, I ask him lots of WH questions just to see, and I'm going to show him pictures, and I'm going to make sure I engage in activities, that would improve that. And so I always tell parents, okay, so you're going to practice like 3 times, 4 times this week, depending on your schedule. Most parents are stay-at-home parents, and some have to go to work. So we work with your schedule. Okay. And yeah, the next slide, please, Sunny. Okay, so this is just a typical visual representation of what our feedback form looks like. So on my left-hand side, it's the feedback form. And you can see that we kind of like so when the parent sends the video, I usually tell parents that we take data from it. We, go through this video, we look at a whole lot of things. Personally, I would look at the concentration, attention, the environment, the communication. We count how many words is a child emitting, how many questions is the parents asking, just to kind of like measure, what growth and what, progress the child is making. And so this on my left-hand side is what our feedback form looks like. We look at the natural environment. Sometimes, parents may engage in activities that are not like naturalistic. So we want it to be as natural as possible so that it can, this is something the child would learn and can be replicated in future. So we look at, praising, is the child motivated? So for example, if a parent is asking questions and the child is crying all through, we would know that, that was not, the child is not motivated. So we look at that as well. We look at, was there prompting, was there modeling, was there time delay, and all of these things we look at the video, and that is how we provide feedback for the parents. So, and this has been very helpful for parents because when they see that, okay, last week I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I wasn't able to model, I forgot to provide time delay, I forgot to expand. So then they kind of like improve for the next session for the. So, and on this other side is the graph. So we also kind of like, measure the behavior, and we measure both parent and child behavior. So we want to see how is the parent improving, how is the child improving, and all of these calculations go into, the graph, and it's just not, again, it's not for competition or whatever, but just to kind of like help you as the parent see how you're growing, where you started from, and how you're progressing. Because over time, we notice that parents make progress. So at this point, I would allow Sunny talk about the strategies that we work with. And if you have any questions, please just put them in the chat box, and Carrie will read them to us at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Amara. Yes. All right. So that was our C2C what look like. So next I'm gonna share, I'm sorry, it's at halfway. I have my baby with me, but he's not really covered right now. I hope he not cry. I'm sorry about that ahead of time. But yeah, so now we're gonna talk about the parent coaching strategies. So what is the strategy that we use throughout when we coach the parent that Amara said? In each week, we will let them record, and then we as a coach will give the parents the strategy. There are 4 is evidence-based strategy that we work with the parents, and we try to do a natural environment and let them encourage the communication with their child at home. And so the parent will use the 4 skills, the 4 skills that they need to do each week. So we have incentivizing communication, modeling, prompting, and expanding. So I'm going to go through each slide with you for each strategy with you. So first, intensivizing communication. So parents will learn how to use this skill to increase the opportunity for the child to communicate. What it means is like how to enticing them, how to inviting them, how to encourage them to use the communication. And we do have sub-strategy in that, which is natural context, motivation, temptation, and routines interruption. Okay, so this I'm gonna go one by one. So how you're gonna engage the child to communicate with you? First, natural context. It means you have to prepare the environment or the item that you know your child really like. It can motivate your child to have conversation with you. Like if they like to play a ball, so you will use that item, which is their favorite, to teach them how to request or talk about it. But if they don't like vegetable, we're not gonna, they're not gonna want to communicate with you because they don't like, in case you want to the goal of saying no, I don't like something like that, that we need to prepare the thing that motivate them to talk with you, or the topic that they really want to talk. If they like to sport, you will watch the sport game with them. Then for natural context, you will create opportunity for communication in the regular routines. We try to, in our project, we're not like sit on the table and do one at a time, but we encourage parents to use, practice them during the routine, like take a bath, brush your teeth, snack time, play time. And yeah, encourage a range of communication models. We're not gonna just do, we can do all text, speech, or any communication that the child can use. And they're all in natural background. Then the next of intensivizing communication, we call motivation, which is on the right above. Motivation, yeah, same thing that I said before that. Choose your favorite activity or items. Show your child the preferred item to encourage their initiate communication. Like if you want they're asking for cookies, instead just hand them cookie, you put cookies in the box and then they can ask for that. They like cookie, that's their favorite. So yeah, teach them within the well-practiced routines. Try to do that as a routine. Then the next is called temptation. So create the thing that you can, you're tempting your child to communicate. Like you see them play with the toy and then you taking turn. Okay, my turn, and then wait for them to request back, or back and forth the word my turn, your turn, or yep, provide the item that they don't like to teach them how to refill, saying no. Yeah. So that is temptation. Or some parents, they like start cut the paper and then they stop. They know that the child want to continue to cut the paper, so they stop. That is like temptation. Then they teach the child to say, okay, cut more please, or whatever you want to teach your child. And then the next is called routine interruption. So that you interrupt routines. When they do something, you interrupt them so they can use the verbal or use the communication skills to communicate with you. Example, if you're cooking with your child, you will remove a needed item out of the way so they can have to ask you, where is a pan, or where is the spoon? So you can ask them to teaching asking question skills. That's an example. Or place your child's favorite item out of their reach, so they have to ask for it. Like you hiding their favorite toy, so they have to come up to you and ask, mommy, toy please, or whatever you teach them. So that is one of the intensivizing communication. For those four is like a background, but we're gonna teach you to match with your goal and your child, that match with your routine at home. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put in the box. And okay, so next we call modeling. So the modeling strategy, after we prepare the natural routine, we prepare the activity that they like, then you will model. Parents will learn how to provide the modeling, which is a verbal cue or a visual example to help them to use communication skills. So this one, I have 3 steps how to model. So first, once you have a toy available or you have water, you will stay close with your child to provide opportunity to modeling. You're not gonna model like, oh, they're in the other room and you in this room, right? You want to sit just, sit with them on the dinner table and you can have the item available. They want water. Then step 2, you involve in your child's activities and communications. They want to have water. Then step 3, you model by saying or doing exactly the words you want them to say. Example, like if you want them to say water, please. So you show the item and you model water, please. Just that simple, but that is like a model to the child. What any sentence, any word you want the child say, you just say that for them and look at them. So I hope they repeat what you said. But if they're not, I'm going to go to the next, which is called prompt. Also, the model is not just for the verbal. It can be if your child use the PEX, which is picture exchange, or communicate through the iPad program. We also teach that too. We also coach the parents how to use the picture exchange or the video iPad application devices. So model mean you press the button, show them, or you give them the picture, point to the picture, and then once they point to the picture, that is modeling. Okay. All right. So anyone have any questions? Okay. I go to the next for the example of modeling. So from this picture is a mom with the child. He used the application on the iPad to request the toy. So when they play the blocks, mom model how to use we call speech generating communication app to request. So she pushed the button on the device and saying, block please. So she modeled by physical and also by the word, block please. And she look at her son and wait for him to push the button. Then he will model, he will repeat what she said. So then if she did that, you will tell him, oh, you did a great job, request the block. That also something that motivate him to, after the child make a request, we're gonna give him the positive reinforcement, good job, and give the item to them. So this is modeling. Okay, however, sometimes it's not work modeling, or after you use modeling, then we're gonna do next, we're gonna teach them how to learn to do prompt and prompt fading. So prompt is mean you will you prompt them how to do it by, it's more direct to tell them to do. You will we will teach them to do prompt, but once later on we're gonna tell them to prompt fading because we don't want they depend on the prompt. So I'm gonna go prompt first and then the prompt fading. So prompt, what it is prompt? Prompt is mean you physical, verbal, or any guidance to provide to help your child to perform the target behavior. What we doing, why we use this? So prompt we use to increase them to make a request or or have an exchange information or talk with you. So prompt uses like you show the item. If you verbal prompt, you will call your child name, maybe Mary, say water please. So say is mean prompt, you tell them to do, or you immediately prompt your child to make a response by hold them hand to point the picture. So that is a physical prompt. Okay, it's a little bit different than model. Model is you do as a model for them, but the prompt you tell them, say, ask me, how are you, mom? That is a prompt. So that is a prompt. And when in the beginning of coaching, we're gonna tell parents to do earliest learning. It means you will just prompt them right away what they want, what we want them to say or what the target behavior. But then when 2 or 3 weeks pass by, when the child can say water with prompt, then we're gonna do prompt fading. So in the next slide, it's called prompt fading. I mean, in the right hand side, the prompt fading is mean we gradually reducing a prompt because we don't want them to depend on the prompt and they're never gonna independent asking you or requesting you, right? So we want them to independent, come and ask you, where is the pen? Or say, how are you? Or do back and forth communication. Then we do prompt fading by we use time delay. So the time delay means we start at 1 second, 2 seconds. If they didn't say the target behavior, we're gonna prompt, but we will increase the time delay. This week we do 2 to 3 seconds. Then the next week we do 3 to 4 seconds time delay. Then 5 to 6. Then we hope that we can independent later on, not don't need to depend on the prompt. Okay, and yes, every time if they we show the item, then we prompt after a short time, like I said, time delay. Then if they say the word, okay, we deliver the preferred item to them. Okay, that is the prompt. This is example. Same method that they use the iPad application, but the prompt is in the picture. Mom physically prompt by use the device. So she holds his hand and press the word guitar, please. She also say the word guitar, please. And the icon will say the word guitar, please. Then they give the item to the child. So that is a prompting. So we try to just physical prompt when they know how to, press the button and then they get the item. We hope that they will know that they can do independent. So we try to reduce the word. What do you want? Try verbal prompt. Yeah, we want to do physical prompt. So that is a prompt. So next strategy is called expanding. So once we do intensivizing, we prepare the activity. We modeling the child to say apple, please. We prompt them. Now when they can say independently, we want to do expanding because we don't want they just can say apple, please. But then when the child can do say 2 words, we're gonna expand for more longer words or longer sentence to expand their vocabulary. So what is expanding? So like I said, we will add a new vocabulary or add the new picture or the symbols in verbal modeling of communication to them. Or if, like I said, if they can say, I want apple. So then we can, do you want, apple is type of the apple or red apple, give the color, so that expanding. So what we do is you will repeat your child words or sentence and then you add for longer sentence. If the child say, how are you? You just, thank you for asking, mom, how are you today? Okay, so you add the word today. You give them a new word for them to say. For the future, she might say, how are you today, mom, for longer sentence. So you will notice that your child communication, you notice your child's communication and functions in daily life and encourage them to communicate with you in different persons, in different settings. Like you know that you dad or mom that they always request to you, but you want to expand to other people. You want to generalization to maybe request with grandmom or going outside to asking somebody else, asking the person at the store to find the item. So you want to do that too. So we're gonna teach the parents step by step of this. And also, redirection if self-stimulatory behaviors occur or your child does not engage, we will stop the strategies. So that is the expanding. Okay, so let's see the example of the expanding. So like I said, say I want a guitar. That is a prompt. Mom prompt the child when mom incentivizing, showing the guitar. And then when the child didn't say anything, mom will prompt, say, I want a guitar. Okay, if the child say, I want a guitar, then mom will say, good job saying, I want a guitar. Here is this a red guitar. So the child will learn is the color is a red. But you don't have them to say again. We don't want to force them to say everything, but they can hear and they can learn for expanding for the word. Or when the child come to you and say cookies, So awesome cookies, awesome for asking, cookies please. So you want them to say longer sentence for cookies please. Okay, let's put that together. All 4 strategy that I'm just go to you one at a time. So all the parent coaching strategies that we're gonna coach the parents, we have incentivizing communication, modeling, prompting, prompt fading, and then expanding. So we will use all 4. We will try to create the treatment plan for the parents, and then we will come up with all 4 that how they can do. Then we give them a feedback each week. So I put this all kind of like a summarize. Incentivizing, you prepare environment, prepare the material that motivate your child, create the opportunity for them to communicate, or you interrupt the routine that provide them to opportunity that they have to ask you. So that is incentivizing. Once you have the item available, you motivate them. Yep, you will model by, verbally or use the speech device, model how to use the communication skills. Then you model, you can also do prompting. You physical or verbal guidance your child to communicate. Say the item or say the word or ask me or teach them, tell them to say the word. Then when they say the word, don't forget to motivating, which is incentivizing. Good job saying apple please, or good job asking your dad how was his day. So motivating them, try to positive reinforcement, make the activity that they like. If they have a bad mood, we will stop teaching until they feel they want to engage or play with you. Then we come back and model and prompting. Once they can say something independently or with the prompt, we will do expanding. As I just said, we expansion for the new words, model for the new sentence for them to learn the new phrase. Okay. So from here, anyone have any question for those 4 strategies? Okay, if not, or if you have any questions, we're welcome to email me or Amara for how to register or the strategies. So we have the, this is the flyer. Our C2C, like Amara said, we welcome all the parents, researchers, or educators who work with children with autism. We have the free individualized parent coaching. We also have the webinar, which is the 1-hour self-paced. You can please welcome to share this to any families that you know or anyone that you know in Texas that have children with autism, and all the program is free. We provide both English and also Spanish. And actually we will start to Thai, which is my language. If you know the families, we try to serve the families that as much as the language that we can. And it is we also have, we call PrEP. It's a free models. They can learn CEUs and learn the evidence-based strategies. So this is the slide. I have the both Spanish and the Thai slide. Okay. And let's see. So yeah, this is what it looks like. If you go to our website, I put in the chat box the TAMU. So you just click on enroll now, and then they're gonna go to the we call PrEP, preparing researchers, educators, and parents. So that is for we will have all the webinars in each strategies. So please welcome to share this to educators that you know, or yet for yourself to learn something that from us. Okay, so that is our website, autism.tamu.edu. So go to the page, and if you have apply link now, I can walk you through that also. Okay, so any questions for Amara or me?
Thank you so much, both of you, Sanakana and Amara. Thank you so much. This is great information. So I have a couple of questions. I'll get it started, and if anybody else has questions, please feel free. If you'd like, we're a smaller group, so if you'd like to just unmute yourself and ask your question, you can do that too. I don't see any specific questions in the chat, but I was kind of curious. So, what is the average time that a family will maybe work with you all? Is it about 2 to 3 months? I was just looking at the different steps and process. It looks like, maybe 1 to 2 weeks here and throughout. So is it average about 2 to 3?
Yes, I think yes. Once the parents apply, it takes around probably 2 weeks to do the assessments. 2 or 3 depend on when parents finish and our assessors and our waiting list. So I think around two weeks. Then yeah, then around I'm sorry. Then around for when they assign for the treatment plan and individual is about 2 to 3 months. Depends on if we have targeted or intensive. If targeted is only short session, 2 to 5 weeks. But if you do longer, which is called intensive, we go over the maintenance. Yeah, so it's around 2 to 3 months, I would say. We will meet every week for 6 weeks. But depends, sometimes parents, some week they have a emergency thing or they have to reschedule. We understand and we let the parents reschedule some week too.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
very good question, Miss Carrie.
yeah, so that good flexibility as well.
Yes,
What are,
exactly.
what are a lot of, or some of the most common communication skills that families reach out to you about? Does there seem to be a common theme?
Yeah, like you mean the questions they ask, or you mean the goal that they want to teach?
Communication goals that what tends to be more of the and maybe it depends on the age of the child or
Exactly.
the young adult that they're helping or they're assisting, but I just was curious if there's a kind of
Yeah.
a certain skill or area that in communication that they're really working on.
Yes, like you said, we provide up till 21 years, 21 or 22, yes. So we have age range, 2 years old until 18, 20 years old, and depends on the child skills. We will have, we're gonna interview the parents before we get started with the course and, interview all the questions, what the child current skill. We do like requesting, we provide requesting goals or either the exchange information. So mostly I think for the preschool age, they're working on requesting 1 or 2 words. But for the growing up preschooler, school age, they're more like asking question or exchange information or appropriate sentence or on topic. Or even we have some parents that the child have challenging behavior. So Amara, could you wanna talk more about the functional communication that you provide to the parents, your
So we
experiences,
also
or
work on FCT. Can you hear me? We also work on FCT, and that is for children who have challenging behaviors like maybe screaming, shouting, throwing tantrums. And so, but that's kind of like a whole different process, but not too different, but it's just that we kind of like into how do functional based assessments. We also have the parent collect data over the couple of days to let us know what the behavior is like, and how we want to see how the behavior is occurring, and then we kind of like start a training. So it's we also we provide that service as well for children that have challenging behaviors. So because sometimes parents do not want to work on requesting, they just want to see how they can stop or how they can decrease rather a challenging behavior, and we offer that service as well. I see a question, a parent is asking if the child needs to be present in the meeting. No, your child does not need to be present in the meeting. It is just for the parent. It is parent directed. You don't need to have it. And so if your child goes to school, that's totally perfect. We can meet at that time. Okay. And yeah, that helps. And you said, do we help with issues with Equilibria? Yes, we do that. Okay, and one thing I also wanted to add with the first question Carrie asked about the duration. So we have the intensive parent coaching and we have the targeted parent coaching. So the intensive parent coaching is like, oh, I come in and I want to work work intensively for like 6 weeks. But sometimes parents come in and they don't have like 1 month to 2 months to spare, and they just want to learn a few things. So at that point, you can jump into the targeted session where we just work for like 3 weeks. I think Sunny, it is 3 to like 4 or 5 sessions. And that's like maybe less than a month. So if you also want to like just learn a few strategies and you do not have over a month or 2 months to spend, that also works. But you also need to complete a webinar and just jump into the targeted session. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And then, so another follow-up question I have, because you mentioned this is also for teachers or maybe, service providers or, not just parents. So like for myself, I happen to run a teen youth program. So I will, have an opportunity to be with some teens, but it's usually only once a month. So I don't know if perhaps somebody like myself, who maybe I don't see the child on a daily basis, but I can maybe learn some of these strategies that you're talking about that might help me in communication, or over time, build strategies to communicate more effectively with some of the teens that I interact with. So is that something that you think might be beneficial to somebody like me?
Yes, sure. But we will not, so you don't have to do individualized coaching, since we don't have to meet every week, but we have called preparing researchers, educators, and parents. So you're welcome to learn from the model and webinar. And we actually now recruitment for educator training. I can send that flyer to you, that we welcome for educator to apply, but it's going to be intensive, that they have to meet with us every week, and me or other coach, which is BCBAD, will coach the educator, and then educator can coach their students, like that. Like we coach the educator to be one of our coach, and I'll send the information that to you. That's a very good question. We will recruit that also. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, thank you. And then, and I just, for those who happen to be on the presentation now, or anybody who listens to this recorded presentation later on, I will receive the video afterwards, and then also the parent survey that they would like for you to complete, and along with any of the flyers. And I will send the links, the flyers, and the link to watch the video later, because sometimes it's good to just go back and rehear some of the good information. So I will send that. Everybody who registered for this event, whether they were able to attend or not, I'll send that out to all of you all. And very good. Any other questions? I see another question there.
Yes. Is this only for Miss Melody? So is this only for nonverbal autistic individuals? No, we do. We have nonverbal and also very verbal. Like we're working on, like I said, different goals, requesting, exchange information, with talking. Like any speech, all the levels of communication. Yeah, that's a good question. And I put the link again in the chat box. If parents, please fill the survey before you leave, that would be so awesome. Thank you so much. This is we want to gathering the number, because this is a free, we get the budget from the Grant, Texas. So this is going to be good opportunity that today Amara and I provide the service to you all. Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Ms. Carrie. We'll send the survey out again.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just another question just about what times that the meetings can be arranged for parents. So it sounds like you guys are pretty flexible. It's really, you meet with.
Yeah, we're very flexible. So it can, I meet parents as late as 5, 6. Depending on my schedule and the parent's schedule. But like I said, it's flexible to what is obtainable and conducive for the parent. So some parents prefer to meet while their children are at school. some men prefer to meet when they come back from work. So I think that is something we go over in the introduction session, where we both discuss each other's schedules and we see what works. But I can promise and bet that it is definitely something that would not inconvenience you. We work with your time.
Very good. And the session, the length of time each session, does it tend to last about how long each session? Or does it just
depending. I think the average session should be between it depends on the feedback and all of that that's going on, but I think averagely sometimes it's between 35 minutes, 40 minutes, but not more than an hour, except the parents has like lots of things to discuss, and we will not close the meeting until the parent is satisfied, right? So, but yeah, what we will pretty much go through what you've done, what you need to improve on, the goals for next week, and how we can better improve. And that takes approximately 30 to 40 minutes, and then 1 hour, depending on the length of the conversation.
Okay, really good. I don't see any other questions in the chat, but if anybody had a question, feel free. If not, in the meantime, I know you guys have attached the parent survey there, the link to the Coach to Communicate website is there, lots of great resources here. And again, I will email out here shortly. Once this the video is complete, I'll email you all a link to view the video again, along with some of the flyers that were shared today, and then some of these great links as well. Well, Sonika and Amara, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for just educating us quite a bit on just some. I feel like I picked up some great strategies and learned something today during the presentation as well. So thank you again for your time. Appreciate you all.
Thank you so much for having us.